Okay, this time we're doing lesson 13 assessment. Normally, I don't walk you through these assessments because I do want you to use Excel and figure out how to use it on your own. But this time, I want you to use something we haven't used yet, but I want you to see how to use them. And so I'm on 13 assessment right here. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to right click on that, open link in new tab. Then we're going to come down here to Excel. And what I want you to do is to see some of the templates that are already built into Excel for you. And there are quite a few templates there. I'm going to go ahead and just sort of do it the easy way and go ahead and click on calendars here because we're going to be doing something with calendars. Okay. And I'm going to go with this one right here, any month, 1 year calendar. But you can see that there are already several here. And just to let you know that if you were to go through and click on and do a search, you could find a lot more calendars. But I'm just going to go ahead with this one right here, any year, 1 month calendar. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and click on that one. It wants to know, are you sure this is what you want to do? Yes, I do. I want to create it. Good. And remember, before we do anything in Excel, we go ahead and save. File, save as. Now I'm putting them here. You probably can be putting them in your documents directory. I'm storing things in a different place. Save as example 13B. What did I write there? Activity. Video. Just remember when you're working in Excel to automatically go ahead and save. Now I'm looking at this. This is this one. Yep, the text here. And I do see that it says August. So let's go ahead and go with August there. So the year, you can key in a year, click on the month, and notice there's a drop arrow right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and select August and see if it lines up the way I want it to. Okay, I am going to tell you, you need to pay attention to this of where the month starts. Now, when you're doing this on your own, that'll be pretty obvious, but this relates to the lesson. I could fish around right here with the year, and it looks like they did this in go to line up. I'm just curious where it lines up with their example. In their example, I am looking over here if you're wondering what I'm doing. Nope, it looks like they would have done it. I'm just looking to see where they actually started this year when they did this. But it looks like they did 2018. But we're again going to go with 2020, with 2022, because that's the year I'm doing this lesson. Okay, just so you're aware. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at what we've got here. The next thing we're going to do is copy this in. Okay, this here is starting on Thursday. So because they've named the months like this, they've got like Sunday dinner discounts, Thursdays have this. We are going to go ahead and pick the year that they have assigned to this. It's just going to make your assignment a lot easier. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, and it looks like they're going 2018, 2019. And I hope you can see what I'm doing as I'm watching the days right here line up. And that's the point of using this automatically generated calendar, is it's just going to be a lot easier. Now, the way this works, and you need to be aware, just like in our previous lesson, each of these are in separate rows. I mean, they've got it formatted nicely, but when it all comes down to it, each of these are cells on a spreadsheet, okay? Just that they format a little bit differently. So now let's go back and get our text, okay? So I'm going to very carefully come over here to the wrapper, and hopefully this will work. Control C. I will tell you, we ran into a problem with this in class. Control V. Okay, and we've already got text wrap. We're going to go ahead and do some centering and stuff later on. So let's go ahead and go back. Again, I chose this because doing it this way because I did want this to be a little bit easier for you, and so you wouldn't spend all your time Control C trying to format the month. Okay, or those Control V, and so we're gonna go ahead. You can go ahead and finish that up, and I will be back in just a second. Okay, at this point, I've got all of my stuff copied in. That's all I paused to do. And let's go ahead and we're going to format these cells because this is sort of an ugly look where we've got some of these with text boxes and some without. So we're going to come to this one right here. No particular reason except this one here isn't on an edge anywhere. I can really see what I'm doing. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to center align that cell. Right, there's nothing in there. Doesn't matter. Okay, I'm going to go ahead over to here. Come on. Out, and I actually also want my vertical alignment centered. Okay, let's go ahead and we're gonna go ahead, alignment, and I'm looking for. Okay, that looks good. Justify wrap text is turned on. Good. Font. Let's go ahead and make sure that color is actually black. Okay, instead of that gray that comes in from Canvas. Do we want to do anything with our font? That's kind of an ugly looking font. Let's go ahead and try to do something a little bit nicer. Even if we have to do Times New Roman, just something. And I'll tell you what I'm looking for over here is these are what are called true type fonts. And they're simply, the whole thing works a little bit better as the way that it works together. You know what? No, that's a Gothic. No, that's ugly. I like I say, as you guys know by now, I do like the serif fonts. So we're just gonna try to find one that is a serif font. Let's see here. That's ugly. So I'm gonna go. You can see as I click on them what I'm looking at over there. And sans already tells me it's not going to have a serif. Sans means without. So let's just have a look here at, I kind of like that one. Okay, so I'm going to go with that one. Let's see here. And that all looks reasonably good. I don't see anything that stands out as wrong. Okay. Now, Format Painter. There we go. And so now I'm just going to go ahead and use Format Painter over here. So you can see what I did is I basically took a cell and got everything the way I want it to be. Now, I will tell you, I think this is a little bit small. Looking at it now, I think we can probably go all the way to at least a size 14 font. And so again, we're going to Format Painter. We're going to drag that across these guys. Format Painter. Now I just need to click there because we got a whole row done. Format Painter, click. Format Painter, click. But when we did that, I'm just going to tell you, these numbers now look a little bit small. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select this row right here. We're again going to go into Font. Let's go ahead and make those numbers a little bit bigger by making them say 14. What else we're going to do? We want to make sure that they're actually black, right? We want to make them bold. And let's see how they look, okay? Yeah, that looks good. So again, Format Painter. Making sure you're in the right spot, click. Format Painter, click. Format Painter, click. Okay, and so now we've got a reasonably nice calendar put together already. Now, I'm not sure what this weird line here is doing, if it's doing anything for us, but that's inconsistent. When I see where it came from. It came from that bar right there. So you got things like when I say inconsistent, it's under some of these, but not others. So decide whether or not you want that bar right there or not. Okay, I personally don't like the look, so I'm going to come down here. Oops, it looks like we missed Sunday. So I'm going to come over here, and now I'm going to come over here to the border tool, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select no borders at all. And that's going to see how that got rid of that tool right there. There is a faint line there, though. So I'm going to go back here again, down, border tool, and what are we going to use here? Border tool. We're going to go all borders, and ooh, that's ugly. Okay, we didn't like that. Undo. Okay, kind of getting the picture of what I want here. Oh, stop that. Actually, so let's fix Sunday first, okay, guys, before we fix the borders, because those are kind of ugly looking. What am I going to do? Go right here, just like you saw. Format Painter. Oops, wrong one. Home. Format Painter. And right there. And there we go. See, all those are fixed. So Format Painter is a fantastic tool for making this stuff easier for you. Now, it looks to me like it's a very fine light gray border. So we want to go ahead and select just those like that. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go for outside borders only. Now, that works, but again, you need to look at the color there and ask if that's really what you wanted. If you wanted that color for your border, or if you wanted that light gray that was there. So I'm gonna go with this gray right here, okay, and take a look and see how it looks. Oops, Control Z. Go away. Again, that was fill. If you're wondering what's going on there, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna undo that. Oops, too far. There we go. Okay, so again, now I'm going to spend a few moments trying to get this border in because I personally think it's going to look a little bit better with that border, but I may have to play around with the color on it, so I may end up having to change all the borders to match. And primarily that happened because, of course, I was using the Format Painter there. Okay, so I'm going to select both of these right here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and select outside borders. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to border color. Border color. Okay, good. And now I found it. You see what I'm looking at there. Now, for some reason, I'm now in the drawing tool, and I'm not 100% sure why. So, uh, so it's allowing me to draw my borders here. I mean, it's an easier way to do it, but it is sort of an odd tool to have pop up. Sort of tedious. What I wanted you to see in this exercise, quite simply, is how to use the built-in tool to make a halfway decent calendar relatively quickly. And so that's what basically today's exercise has been about. And I think you can, and of course, I keep forgetting that Sunday over here because I scrolled off my screen on it. Okay, and I'm just going to hit escape to get out of that tool. Okay, and so to leave that tool, I hit escape. And there we go. We've got our calendar basically done. That was it for this lesson. It was very different than what was in the book. The reason that I wanted to go so different is because I wanted you to see how to use some of those templates to make stuff that looks reasonably good and is super easy to do. So now I'm going to go ahead and, oh, don't forget to save. I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to pause.